In the headlines this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister chairs conference on resolving construction materials difficulties. And Vietnam among top favorite destinations in Asia, according to American website Insider Monkey. In our world news, G7 leaders launch initiative for global food security.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyên Tân with the top stories. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired an online conference on overcoming difficulties and promoting the production and consumption of construction materials. Representatives from 32 provinces and cities nationwide took part in the meeting. Now, according to reports and discussions at the conference, Vietnam ranks among the top leaders globally in cement and ceramic tile production. In addition, the country ranks 13th globally and first in ASEAN in crude steel production. The annual revenue from the construction materials sector amounts to nearly $47 billion, accounting for 11% of GDP. The Prime Minister praised the efforts and achievements of Vietnam's construction materials sectors. However, he highlighted some limitations and emphasized key tasks and focal solutions. These include reviewing mechanisms, policies, and institutions to encourage sustainable and rapid investment in the sector, boosting public investment and developing strategic infrastructure. The government leader also urged businesses to restructure management and upgrade technology to enhance product quality, efficiency, and competitiveness. Now, according to the latest data from the Ministry of Finance, 7,225 businesses and establishments are currently dealing in gold and silver and implementing electronic invoice solutions. A total of 1.34 million electronic invoices were issued. As per regulations, businesses must meet infrastructure requirements and install electronic invoice solutions on their cash register to connect to the tax authorities. Furthermore, to issue electronic invoices via cash registers, businesses need to choose a provider of electronic invoices that integrates with their sales management software. Now, in the past 2 weeks, 15 commercial banks have increased deposit interest rates. Some banks have raised saving interest rates for terms over 12 months to 9.5% per year, much higher than the entire system average of 5.5% per year. This helps attract more cash flow from residents and stabilizes foreign exchange rates.
Increasing interest rates will help ensure savings are more attractive than other investment channels beset by risks, such as stocks, gold, and real estate. This will also help banks ensure capital resources for the last months of the year.
Credit demand is also showing signs of recovery, so banks will reserve capital sources to meet the increased credit demand in the second half of the year, especially when the state bank assigned a credit growth target of 15% at the beginning of the year.
Since the beginning of the year, credit growth has only reached 2.41%. Banks have increased deposit interest rates to boost capital into the economy but kept lending interest rates low.
Many loans do not charge interest in the first term, and most lending rates in the system are below 8%. These factors facilitate customers' access to banks' credit packages.
Lending rates have hit record lows, so many organizations and individuals have extended their loan periods, especially in consumer groups, raw material importers, priority sectors, and groups that benefit from public investment disbursement.
Businesses also want to fix these low interest rates for longer to operate business activities and manage interest expenses proactively.
Since the beginning of the year, the banking sector's deposit interest rate has increased by about 0.5% per year. That means holding Vietnamese currency is more valuable, especially when the Vietnam dong is stronger than other currencies compared to the USD.
The USD to VND exchange rate has been very stable since mid-May. Thanks to this stable exchange rate, businesses will regain confidence in planning their operations and save manufacturing costs.
Banks' digital solutions in deposit and lending transactions and measures to cut operating costs will help relieve pressure to increase loan interest rates while keeping deposit interest rates at a higher level.
In the first half of this year, Vietnam's seafood exports are expected to reach $4.4 billion, up 6% from last year, according to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, or VASEP. Industry insiders predict that issues with inventory and transportation will improve by the third quarter, leading to a recovery in demand and higher prices. This positive development set the stage for the seafood industry to meet its annual export target of $10 billion.
Trout fish exports have risen by 4% compared to the same period last year, buoyed by positive signals from key markets. In the year's second half, raw trout fish output is not expected to increase. At the same time, demand is anticipated to rise, driving up export prices.
I anticipate prices will rise by 5 to 10% from now until the end of the year, stabilizing the industry and improving profitability. Achieving a turnover of $2 billion is feasible.
Shrimp exports are expected to earn nearly $1.7 billion in the first half of the year, up 7% year-on-year, as enterprises focus on cost control to boost competitiveness.
There continues to be demand for high-quality orders from major markets. We are standardizing our operational procedures and gaining insights into these markets.
In the second half of the year, seafood exports encounter challenges like trade barriers, high raw material prices, and fluctuating logistics costs. However, positive signs include easing inflation in major markets, boosting demand for holiday season goods, and promising developments in new markets such as South Africa and the Middle East.
Regular marketing and trade promotion activities are essential to stabilize export.
VASEP believes that businesses' cautious and adaptable production and export strategies, bolstered by government support, including fees exemptions, debt deferrals, a $1.18 billion loan package for the agriculture, forestry, and fisheries sector, and efforts to address the IUU yellow card, can meet the export target of $10 billion.
In 2023, Vietnam's durian exports reached over $2.2 billion. Looking ahead to 2024, the Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association has set a target to increase durian revenue to $3.5 billion for the whole year. Due to the market's allure and high economic value, farmers in the Central Highlands, the region with the largest durian cultivation area in Vietnam, are gradually adopting growing standards, notably at VTVgo. Implementing these standards not only aims for sustainable agriculture, but also reflects positive changes in the agricultural production mindset within ethnic group communities. The transition from traditional farming practices to modern agriculture enhances farmers' incomes and contributes to environmental protection. The local agricultural brand is also elevated, increasing opportunities for businesses to access international markets. A woman accustomed to city life courageously abandoned it to pursue her dream of cultivating medicinal herbs in the forest. Lê Thùy Kim Loan now owns 16 hectares of poor man ginsengs nestled under the canopy in Con Plong district, Con Tum province, where her diligence and hard work have improved local people's lives.
3 years after leaving the city, Loan's ginseng farm in Dak Tang commune has begun harvesting its first crop. She chose the area for its ideal soil and climate for medicinal plant cultivation. She has collaborated with local ethnic groups to expand production and create livelihoods.
We offer standard seedlings to people and support them in cost reduction. People only need to invest time in planting and caring for the seedlings.
Poor man's ginseng is highly adaptable, less susceptible to pests, and requires minimal care. However, Due to her lack of experience initially, Luan's ginseng growing area was infected with disease, leading her to discard numerous seedlings. She collaborated with villagers to identify the cause and find a solution.
This type of ginseng is prone to fungus and root nematodes. To enhance plant resistance against pests and diseases, we restricted access to the ginseng growing area and improved soil conditions.
After 2 years, Luan's 16-hectare ginseng farm yielded approximately 30 tons of fresh produce, generating hundreds of thousands of US dollars. This crop has become pivotal in the Gong Plong district, which plans to expand cultivation to over 1,000 hectares.
The company has collaborated with residents, boosting their income and contributing to poverty alleviation in the area.
More people are eager to collaborate with Luan to cultivate this plant. In addition to selling fresh ginseng, Luan also processes it into convenient OCOP quality products, ensuring reasonable prices and easy consumer access.
Coming up next on VTV News. Ninh Thuận Province mobilized people to resettle in the Đá Lan mountainous area. And Vietnam among top favorite destinations in Asia. Welcome back to VTV News. Vietnam's central Midlands and northern mountainous regions will continue to experience heavy rain, accompanied by warnings of flash floods and landslides for the weekend. Rainfall forecasts for the mountainous and central Midland regions of northern Vietnam range from 30 to 70 millimeters. Meanwhile, rainfall is forecast to exceed 150 millimeters in some places. Intense rainfall over a short period may cause local flooding, flash floods in small rivers and streams, and landslides on hillsides. On the plains, rainfall will be sporadic, with precautions advised for gusty winds and lightning strikes. Rain is also more concentrated during the night and morning hours. Additionally, thunderstorms are expected on Saturday afternoon in the Central Highlands and southern Vietnam, with localized heavy rainfall exceeding 80 millimeters. Warnings have been issued on localized flooding, accompanied by hail, lightning, and a strong gust of wind. The Đá Lan mountainous area in Thuận Bắc District, Ninh Thuận Province is at high risk of landslides, threatening the lives of a Rack-like village at the foot of the mountain. Ninh Thuận Province has urgently built a resettlement area to relocate people from the landslide area. However, persuading the Rack-like people to relocate is proving problematic. More in the following.
No less than 50 households at the foot of Đá Lan mountain were warned they lived in a generous area prone to landslides and rolling rocks. It is still the dry season, so the level of danger is unclear. However, the danger level will likely pose a significant risk in the coming rainy season. Since 2022, Ninh Thuận Province has been building a 5-hectare resettlement to evacuate the villagers from danger.
The project has completed infrastructure such as land, plot divisions, domestic electricity and water systems, and community houses.
The local authorities are focusing on mobilizing people to move to the resettlement area to stabilize their lives for the long term.
I am very happy and have agreed to move from here because the state has provided me with house, electricity and water.
The local authorities have also introduced policies to support relocated households. For example, poor households are supported with 100% of the cost of building houses at a rate of $7,000 and are compensated when they relocate.
We are doing inventory and assessment work so people can receive new land, build houses and move in shortly.
Strengthening mobilization and support appropriate to the people's wishes will create consensus on relocating and eliminating landslide hotspots threatening people's lives.
Vietnam ranked 13th on list of the 20 most loved destinations in Asia, according to the American financial website Insider Monkey. The ranking was based on various metrics, including respect, friendliness, diversity, and the number of international tourists. Insider Monkey states Vietnam attracts visitors from across the world for several reasons. It is affordable, has incredible scenery, and has some of the most amazing food you'll ever have. Besides this, the country's high visa acceptance rate also helps Vietnam score extra points with international tourists. Malaysia topped Insider Monkey's ranking as the most beloved destination in Asia. Now, after China opened its doors to tourism in March last year, the central provinces and cities, including Da Nang City, considered this a positive signal for the recovery of the tourism industry. Since the beginning of the year, Da Nang has welcomed more than 163,000 Chinese visitors, accounting for nearly 11% of the total international visitors.
Mỹ Khê Beach, Ngũ Hành Sơn, Linh Ứng Pagoda, and the Da Nang Museum of Cham Sculpture are famous tourist destinations in Da Nang, which many Chinese tourists visit.
I had been to Da Nang once before. This time, I am continuing to explore new tourist destinations and many attractive events here.
Before the pandemic, China was a key market for Da Nang, with steady growth in visitors and always ranked second among international markets. In the past 5 months, Da Nang welcomed more than 163,000 Chinese visitors, accounting for nearly 11% of the total number of international visitors to the city.
To welcome visitors from the Chinese market, we have been and will continue to proactively work with tourism service providers so that we can discuss and build the most suitable products for the Chinese market.
We will actively resume promoting flights to mainland China markets in the coming months. In the third quarter of this year, we will launch a promotional campaign in the Guangzhou market and connect cruise ship promotion itineraries from China to central provinces and cities.
Da Nang has 5 direct air routes that fly 89 weekly flights from China to the city. The return of Chinese visitors is expected to further boost Da Nang's tourism revenue in the coming time.
The street festival Light Carnival Parade occurred Friday night in Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa Province. This is a feature event of the Nha Trang Sea Festival 2024. 44 elaborately decorated floats paraded through the streets, bathed in vibrant colors and lights. Each float features a unique design, showcasing and honoring the specialties and beauty of Nha Trang Bay. They also aim to promote the cultural and tourism potential of Khánh Hòa Province. Notably, at the end of the parade, local residents and tourists could join the procession to take commemorative photos. Mù Cang Chải in Yên Bái Province is famous for its stunning terrace fields, particularly during the golden ripe rice season. In the pouring water season, these terrace fields fill with water, becoming shimmering reflective pools that captivate visitors. In Vietnam's mountainous northwest region, Mù Cang Chải has become a popular destination for tourists eager to discover natural marvels and experience local culture.
After allowing the land to rest for 3 months, Tawaka began blocking the field.
I take advantage of the rain to plow. The land is dry and cannot be plowed when it's sunny. When water is available, we can grow our crops.
In Bao Khat village, rains arrive early, prompting villagers to plant rice seedlings in the fields. The water colors blend with the brown soil and the green rice seedlings. During this season, villagers work in traditional customs, which then are their hopes to capture and share with tourists.
We aim for visitors to grasp our culture fully. To achieve this, they must experience it firsthand.
Daniel visited Mù Cang Chải during the water pouring season. He was amazed by the locals' English explanations to the terrace fields. He got hands-on plucking experience.
Follow me, I will show you how to use the machine.
We tried a little bit to work. I think it's a hard job, especially if you do every day like they do. It's satisfying to harvest, to collect what you work for many months.
In addition to farming for food security, we utilize the landscape to offer additional tourism services.
The beauty of terrace fields during the water pouring season has become a captivating tourism attraction, driving socio-economic development in the locality.
Coming up next in our world news. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa re-elected for second term. And G7 leaders launch initiative for global food security. Now moving on to our world news. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has been re-elected for a second term, having won a majority of votes in the National Assembly, the Chief Justice said on Friday. Ramaphosa, the leader of the African National Congress, got 283 votes versus 44 for Julius Malema, the leader of the opposition Economic Freedom Fighters Party. President Ramaphosa will be sworn in Pretoria's capital next week and then announce his new cabinet. Leaders of the Group of Seven, or G7, have adopted the G7 Apulia Food System Initiative. The initiative demonstrates the group's commitment to strengthening efforts to prevent and combat global malnutrition. The G7 Apulia Food Systems Initiative, named after the southern Italian region hosting the Leaders' Summit, will aim to overcome structural barriers to food security and nutrition. The initiative will focus on low-income countries and support projects in Africa, one of the top priorities under Italy's rotating G7 presidency this year. The Western powers also committed to work together to improve the fiscal space for food security, including by reducing borrowing costs for poorer nations via mechanisms such as debt swaps. Debt for nature swaps are financial instruments through which a developing country's debt is cut in return for protecting our vital ecosystems. The initiative's details will be agreed by G7 development ministers in the coming months. Finland will host a new NATO military alliance land command unit, Minister of Defense Antti Häkkänen told reporters on Friday following a meeting of the alliance in Brussels. The Finland's Minister of Defense said the Finnish NATO command will have as a task to direct land warfare operations in Northern Europe and in Scandinavia. In NATO's new command structure, all Nordic countries would fall under the US-based Joint Force Command, Norfolk, which is oriented to the North Atlantic defense. On April 4, 2024, Finland officially joined NATO, becoming the 31st member of this military alliance. The 27th St. Petersburg International Economic Forum kicked off last week in Russia. Over the years, the forum has become a platform for top Russian companies and startups to introduce the latest technology, including artificial intelligence products. More in the following.
My name is Yevgeny. I am planning a machine uprising. Just kidding, I am designing everyday convenience for Moscow's people.
In the outfit of a housing and social service employee, this robot has surprisingly human-like natural expressions. He communicates and advises visitors to the booth on various public utility issues, and he can also tell jokes and read poetry.
The robot can participate in discussions on various topics thanks to Yandex.GPT's artificial intelligence language model. It is also integrated with the Moscow region's housing and social services chatbot to answer questions in this area like an expert.
Since 2021, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Healthy Society Conference and Exhibition where health solutions were discussed, has been an integral part of the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. 3 years ago, the focus was on testing methods for viruses, protective equipment, and telemedicine technology. Now there are many rehabilitation-related projects.
This is a modern bionic arm. What makes it special is that it is custom-made for each person, from size to skin color. With the help of muscle activity sensors placed inside the device, the user can control this arm as naturally as their own.
The Russian artificial intelligence market increased by 18% last year to reach almost 650 billion rubles, or more than $7.3 billion. More than 1,000 domestic companies are developing neural networks.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.